Hello, my friends, and welcome to a new episode of Huracán D. Today, we are following another interesting story of boxing, reggae, and ska, continuing the program that we did last week. And in this case, we're going to talk about the amazing story of Prince Buster and Muhammad Ali. So, Prince Buster was born with the name of Cecil Bustamante Campbell, grew up in Orange Street in a rough neighborhood in Kingston, and only ended up in the music industry after literally fighting his way in. He received the nickname Buster after his middle name, Bustamante, but Prince was the nickname he received while boxing. He learned the skill as a teenager from Jamaican boxing greats Kid Chocolate and Speedy Baker. Prince said in an interview from July 14, 1997, that he wanted to be a boxer initially, and I quote, "I was in a dance troupe and would sing solo. I used to have going to school in the day because I stayed up so late at night. I paid less attention to singing and was more into boxing and wanted to be in fights, but really there was no money in boxing. You get punched up and then there was no money." So I left that and went back to singing and started recording. From day one, I started myself. So pretty much as we can see, he really wanted to pursue a professional boxing career. Actually, he was pretty good, but due to the situation around him, he got much more money on music. And thanks God he continued music because we got one of the biggest ska artists in history. Prince Buster's first fight was on October 3rd, 1964. The Daily Gleaner sports writer L.D. Roberts wrote an anticipation of the debut. And I quote, "Prince Buster is to make his ring debut in 4-rounder, and this in itself should be a treat. But if the prince forgets he is in the ring and starts to do the ska instead of throwing leather, he may get his block knocked off." The connection between Prince Buster and Cassius Clay, who by this time was known as Muhammad Ali, is evident in the comparisons between the two fighters, and likely because Prince Buster had begun a relationship with Muhammad Ali, and due to his influence, Buster converted himself to Islam. Prince Buster changed his name to Yusuf Muhammad Ali, although he still went by the name of Prince Buster. The two fighters met during a trip to London, where Prince Buster was transformed by Ali's faith in the Nation of Islam. During Prince Buster's trip to the 1964 World's Fair with Byron Lee and the Dragoners, Ronnie Nasrallah, and Entourage, Prince Buster took Jimmy Cliff and his friends to a nightclub in Harlem to meet his comrade Muhammad Ali. Prince Buster had also been with Muhammad Ali in Miami when Ali invited him to attend a Nation of Islam talk at Mosque 29. So the two were connected by a friendship and faith. The Daily Gleaner on September 1964, discusses Prince Buster planned debut in the boxing ring with all the flair and the gimmicks of the post-war heavyweight king Cassius Clay. Prince Buster bows into the ring with a song on his lips and Lucien Chen's October 3rd promotion. The promotion is with the cooperation of David A. Lindo Limited. Sorry. The ska singing sensation, more popular in the areas of Wash Wash, claims intimate association with Big Brother Clay. No opponent, he says, will last 4. He fights in the first round opening bout on October 3rd promotion. Like Clay, the mighty Prince Buster claims to be black Muslim, and he has dubbed himself the mighty Prince Buster Muhammad. Buster returned to the island recently at the time from a tour in the USA, where he had the advantage of meeting the hobnobbing with some of the biggest names in boxing in the country, among them Sonny Liston. "Going from gym to gym in the USA, I decided to become a professional player," Muhammad said after his return. Like Cassius Clay, Jamaica's newest professional had this to say in verse. He actually made a verse that predicted how it would be his first professional fight. And it says, "I, mighty Prince Buster, Muhammad I, predict my first fight will end in the first. When the gong sounds for the first round, my opponent will already be on the ground. I have no time for fooling around. There must be better herring around." Prince Buster said that there was no money in boxing, and certainly that was true. Not because Prince Buster didn't win, and not because it wasn't offered, but because he didn't receive the money, because there was suspicion that the fight was not fair. The Daily Gleaner on October 5, 1964, tell of that first fight against Gene Coy in the article entitled Prince Buster's purse withheld. The article states, the Jamaica Boxing Board of Control announced Saturday night after the Prince Buster Jean Coy scheduled tour found at the National Stadium that the purses of both boxers would be withheld and an investigation made on Wednesday. Ska singing Prince Buster, a recently turned boxer, was making his first debut, so too was Coy. After a light flurry to the midsection in the first round, Coy hit the canvas and was counted out, as Buster had predicted in a poem. The 15,000-strong crowd that had cheered him into the ring 5 minutes earlier booed as Coy lay on the canvas. But Prince Buster did get his money after all amid the spectacle. The Daily Gleaner on November 5th, 1964, over a month after the bout, states, the Jamaica Boxing Board of Control yesterday announced that ska singing lightweight professional boxer Prince Buster and Jin Coy, whom he floored in the first round on October 3rd, will receive their purses. The board had withheld the purses of both boxers after a questionable performance in the 4th round, but promoted by Lucien Chen and National Stadium. Principals of the 5-fight card were Bunny Grant versus Kid Busley for Jamaica welterweight title, and Percy Hales versus former World Lightweight title holder Joe Brown. Sorry for that. So although Prince Buster was continued for a short time to help support other boxers by appearing at their bouts, such as his mentor Muhammad Ali, Bunny Grant, and Grady Pounder, whom he helped convert to Islam, the October 3rd, 1964 boxing match against Coy was the only professional fight that Prince ever fought. So as we can see, there's quite a strong bond between ska, reggae, and not only professional boxing, but the same Muhammad Ali, right? And it's very interesting how the stories of self-perfection, of effort, of sacrifice from one side, from Bunny Grant that we told last week, and Muhammad Ali also had a huge influence on the Jamaican music scene, and vice versa. So, well, that was all for today. We're going to bring something more interesting also for next week, and hopefully if you like it, please subscribe to the channel, click on like, and leave your comments.